Rutgers wins 2 in a row and gets a quad 1 win finally with a great start by Dylan. And no, it's not that Dylan.
Okay, what is it tonight?
Okay, so Rutgers, with their back against the wall, goes on the road to Lincoln, Nebraska, and gets an 85-82 win as I think a 7.5 point underdog. Finally gets a quad 1 win to get them to 10-8. I'm not going to throw them bouquets of roses. They got a lot of work to do. Go out and win 3 more and get to 13-8, because that's what you're going to need to do to set the tone for the rest of the season if you have hopes of getting in to the tournament with an appropriate regular season record. So Rutgers has some work to do. Nonetheless, a win is a win is a win. And, on a day where I saw a few different stories on the biggest disappointments in college basketball, Rutgers obviously at the top of the list on those lists, obviously for obvious reasons, with our recruiting class and 2 potential NBA lottery picks. Also on that list, though, was Princeton, who I think is like 9-4, but they have losses to Wright State, Texas State, Loyola, but they beat us. So that just shows you what a topsy-turvy, unexpected season this has been. Nonetheless, Rutgers pulls out another nail-biter. We don't make life easy. We snapped Nebraska's 20-game home winning streak. And, as I said, we're going to have to, if you want to get to 19-12, you're going to absolutely have to get at least 19 wins in the regular season. And then maybe you go 1-1 in the tournament and you're 20-13 and you're still right on the cusp. There's no guarantees there. Nonetheless, you still have to go 9-4 in the Big Ten the rest of the way. So you got a couple games coming up, and one against ranked Michigan State, who's number 12 on a night where Minnesota beats number 20 Michigan in overtime. So it can be done. We're going to have some work to do, and we're going to have to get it done if we have any visions of coming together and as a team and playing the way we need to play to be a tournament team. So let's go out there and beat number 12 Michigan State. Nonetheless, we get off to yet another slow start, and no matter how much tinkering Steve Peichel does, we always get off to a slow start. What were we down? 8-9 points early, 15-6, 15-7, something like that. And it was, here we go again. But then, as we tend to do, we climb back into it. And it was Dylan that got off to the good start, and it wasn't Dylan Harper. Dylan Harper and Ace Bailey got off to kind of a slow start, but it was Dylan Grant shooting 4 for 4. And before Ace Bailey hit that 3 at the end of the half, he was the leading scorer on the team with 9 points, wound up with 15. Boy, what a revelation he's been. I don't know where that came from. There was a lot of, criticism of his shooting motion and how he doesn't have a quick release, and he's kind of methodical and slow that way, but nonetheless, he's getting the job done. But that 3 at the end of the first half by Ace was a big shot, because that's what we wind up winning by in the end. Nebraska had taken a lead, coming out of the second half. A little back and forth. We eventually take the lead again. It's tied at like 70. Gets to 83-82, a 1-point lead for Rutgers on a Bryce Williams 3, and you're like, oh boy, here we go. But Dylan Harper finds Ace alone down the court on the inbound for a standalone dunk that gives Rutgers the final 85-82 win. And very unlike Rutgers, unlike Rutgers, we hit the last 5 out of 6 shots, which is not something that we typically do with a game on the line, and we're trying to pull it out. But they finally came up with an accurate shooting touch. All right, where we did well, 49% field goal shooting. That's really good for us. That's the second good game in a row. I think our last game we had might have been 48%, kind of similar. 41% for 3. For us, that's outstanding. That's where we need to be. And rebounds. 40 rebounds. That's a lot of rebounds. And Bowley did some work with that. We'll get there in a second. Where we didn't do so well, we gave up 41% on 3. You know, our perimeter defense, I don't know if it was bad shooting the past couple games by opposing teams or our defense. So the last game we actually played some pretty good, actually very good perimeter defense and defense in the paint. Nonetheless, the free throw bugaboo once again. 7 of 4 to 50. You can't shoot 50% from the free throw line because you're making these games way more closer than they need to be. Dylan, another bad night from the free throw line, 2 for 5. So hopefully he's able to turn that around. And even though we had 40 rebounds, we got out rebounded 42-40. Team gets 42 rebounds against you. That's a lot. That's good work by them. Nebraska gets to the line 27 times. Now they were 17 for 27 from the line. You know, they go 21 for 27 from the line. What is that? I don't know, like 75%, whatever. They win. So they got to the line too much. But Dylan Grant, big night for him. I don't know if this is if this is going to be the rotation going forward, because, you know, even though we've got a couple wins, you know, Lathan, Tyson Acuff haven't been productive. I mean, we're getting the wins, and that question will beg, do we still... We all wanted Lathan in there to start, and lo and behold, he starts, and he hasn't been productive at all. Maybe he's just one of those guys that needs to come off the bench. Tyson Acuff, too. Second game in a row, not real productive. But nonetheless, Dylan Grant had 15 points, 3 rebounds on 7 for 8 shooting. And we should give some props to Zach Martini. Finally got going and was a difference maker in the game. He had 11 points, 4 for 5 shooting, 3 for 4 from 3. 11 points, 2 rebounds, and an assist. So glad to see him get going. You know, we're going to need PJ Hayes and Zach down the stretch if we need big shots. And we need somebody to make a 3. These guys are going to be important. Ace, another double-double. 24, 11, and 4 assists. 8 of 16 shooting. Pretty good shooting night for him. Dylan, 21 points, 5 rebounds, 4 assists, and 8 for 17 shooting. These guys in the first half, they weren't real effective. They're like 3 for 7, you know, it's 3 for 8, something like that. But, you know, the second half, for some reason, they're coming out and picking up the pace. Jeremiah Williams, 7 points, 3 rebounds, 3 assists. Durkak, 3 points, 3 rebounds, no assists. And on Bowley, his, 2 points, but 11 rebounds, real efficient rebounding in 24 minutes. So 2 points, 11 rebounds, and 2 assists for him. So overall, we get the win. Going forward, I'm not sure if I saw anything in last night's game that we could say, okay, I actually had a better feel in our last game. UCLA, because I felt we played really good team defense, whether in the paint or on the perimeter. We were forcing them to make bad shots, and I feel better if we're demonstrating some balance on both ends of the court instead of, some guys just getting hot and you pull out a nail-biting win in the end. Nonetheless, a win is a win is a win. We're 10-8. There's still, I'm not going to, go crazy and say what a big win this is. You have to win now. There's no big wins now. You have to keep piling them up because you still have a long road to hoe. And so hopefully we can finish strong. I'm not sure how some of those things that we need to improve on, that impact games, free throw shooting, perimeter defense, defense in the paint, all playing together as a team, hitting the open guy, and just hitting your shots. The past 2 games, you can see why we've won. When we're hitting 49% of our shots, that's good for us. We're already, in the past few years, we've struggled in games to hit shots, especially from 3. If we're hitting 40% from 3, that's a good sign for us. But we can play a more balanced, integrated game. Like against UCLA, like against Columbia, we stand a chance to knock on the door and hopefully have an opportunity to get into the big dance and avoid the NIT. That would be a big disappointment for the year. Nonetheless, got some other news. Wrestling, nobody's paying attention to wrestling. They almost had a benchmark win against number 4 Ohio State. We got to talk about that. And some more success off the field for Rutgers. Rutgers football with recruiting. We'll get to that. Everybody enjoy the rest of your day and week, and we'll see you the next time.